Hey guys, this is Reggie Smith, also known as 101R Smith. I am representing Gunpla Network New York today to bring you guys the review of the no-grade 1/100 Legend Gundam from Gundam Seed Destiny. The build for the Legend Gundam was actually pretty straightforward. I had no complaints and I was actually pretty interested in the build altogether. To me, the build was almost master grade. Everything fit together, there was a need for a ton of stickers. Matter of fact, the only sticker necessary outside of the camera and eyes was for the gun. When I was building the Legend Gundam, I just kept saying to myself, wow, this is almost master grade. If it just had a little bit more frame in the arms, or if it didn't have the seam line in the middle of the forearm, it would have fit the master grade description. It's just nuts to see how far no grades had come from back in the 90s to the fact that at this point they can match up to low to mid-tier high grades of today. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of almost disappointing this wasn't a master grade. Articulation is pretty standard. It's everything that you would expect from a modern day high grade. Double jointed elbows, you're gonna get a wrist in the ball socket. The legs are in the peg into socket, so you're not gonna get any outwardly leg posing. Waist is pretty much a brick. It's held on by one little peg and a polycap. So you're not gonna get much dynamically, but everything that you can expect from a modern day Gundam kit is here. It's not flashy, it's not Barbatos or Freedom 2.0, but it can get you a lot of the poses that you want on ground. And then if you were to get an action base, you have all of the poses that you could possibly imagine in flight. Now, when it comes to accessories, the accessories were actually pretty lacking, to be honest. Legend Gundam doesn't really offer that much in that terms, but it does compensate with the few that it has. First off, you're going to get your standard beam sabers. Nothing too special about them. They're housed in the legs on the side. You can hold them up for double beam style action. There's a connection piece that can link up, which is very similarly to the Freedom, Justice, and Infinite Justice Gundam. Next is the beam shield, because at this point in Seed Destiny, in the lore of Seed and Seed Destiny, beam sabers do not clash. It's one of the few series, or I think it's the only series where beam sabers don't clash because there's not a repellent factor. In Seed, they had physical shields, and then in Seed Destiny, they moved on to energy shields. So you're gonna get an energy shield very akin to the Destiny Gundam. A very transparent blue. You just take the forearm piece on the knuckles, take that out, put the shield in, and push in that forearm piece back in. Not a lot of posability. You gotta work with the arm. It doesn't have any posability on its own, but it's fairly nice. It would have been nice though if it was like a darker shade of blue with a little bit of crystal effects like we saw in the Master Grade Seed Destiny Beam Sabers. The next accessory is the gun, and this is one of the few accessories that mandates the sticker. I do not use stickers anymore on my kits unless it's absolutely necessary. So out of the box, and if you don't want to put in the time to paint, it's all gray with a little bit of a white piece there. It can connect to the backpack for storage, or you can connect it into the hand. Another thing about the Legend Gundam, it doesn't come with any dynamic hands at all. It's just a holding hand, so that is a little bit disappointing. The final accessory, it's on the backpack itself. It's very similar to the Providence in design. You're going to get a set of 10 funnels that connect 2 on the side skirts, 6 on the sides of the backpack, and the 2 dominant ones on top. They work pretty well, but it's kind of like there needs to be something to hold them together. You can display them all together, but there's nothing to connect to. It's just take them out. The most you could do is pose with the ones on the side skirt. Would have been kind of nice to have a beam effect set like the Destiny or Providence or Freedom 2.0. The other cool thing is that the backpack has a gimmick to where it can fold up or fold out and extend into the front, which is very similar to the Infinite Justice Gundam. So in the lore, they did have Athrun in mind with the suit, but obviously with its design, it's a lot more for Rey than it is for Athrun. Now, when it comes to play value, again, you're going to be somewhat lacking if you're just posing on the ground, but once you get up to an action base, that's where your possibilities open up a bit more. You can get a lot of dynamic posing, and me personally, I would have posed with the Strike Freedom Gundam because of the connection with Rey and Kira, which I won't spoil because I did spill some spoilers in the last review, and some people were not happy. I would say in terms of a no grade, this is a grand improvement over Rey's Blaze Zaku Phantom. Color application is a lot better, it's more solid, and you can get a lot better posability. And overall, I just feel that the Legend is a better quality kit. This was a bit of an upgrade considering the fact that it was all under the same line, and everything was released within a span of a year. I think it was 2005 to 2006. Now, I was asked to compare this to the Providence Gundam, and I'm sorry, it is night and day. Providence Gundam is essentially a 2.0, even though it's not a 2.0. It uses the basis of a 2.0, which is the Freedom Gundam. So, even by Master Grade standards, it's pretty much high. Providence has better detail, better functionality. Honestly, it has a better weapon set. I love the shield with the beam effect part. The beam rifle cannon is a lot better than the Legend Gundam. The Legend Gundam kind of just feels like a very scaled down Providence. But on its own, they can still kind of mesh well with each other. But on the viewer's eyes, not only aesthetically, but in terms of quality, posability, in spite of the fact that the Legend is a huge upgrade in the no-grade C Destiny line, Providence just rules. In terms of play functionality, again, it's going to be a lot of fun with its posing. I do feel kind of frustrated in the fact that there's no effect parts for the fin funnels, or dragoons, sorry, I forget that in C Destiny, it's dragoons, not funnel. They work in the same aspects, and it would have been nice to be able to do something with the dragoons other than kind of push them forward to do an all-out beam spam attack. It would have been kind of cool to have them zigzagging around, but for what it is a great kit and you can have a lot of fun with it. My final thoughts on the Legend Gundam is that essentially you really don't have much of a choice if you're a C Destiny fan. I kind of don't see this getting a Master Grade unless we come out with a Strike Freedom 2.0. It's just, like I've said, it's almost Master Grade. It could almost fit in with a mid to late 2000s Master Grade easily. Obviously, now that we're in 2020, it can't hold a candle, but on its own, it would be a great fit into the C Destiny collection of your choice. It's a great kit. It's one of the better no grades that I've built. Definitely, it's on par with the no grade 00 kits that I've built in my past. It's a high quality no grade. You're gonna want Rey in that collection if you're trying to collect everything that was a part of the trio of Rey, Shin, and Luna Maria Hawk. It's a great addition to your collection, and I highly suggest this kit for anyone who is a big C Destiny fan, in spite of its flaws. This is 101 R Smith, and I will see you later.